Mr. the Monarch already has a dazzling armory. What he needs is a strategist. A man of his prestige cannot simply go after an enemy all willy-nilly.
He can't give an enema a free willy what?
Shut up, 21. You might learn something from this guy.
What you need is a second-in-command who understands the intricacies of organized villainy. This I can offer you.
Perfect! You're hired, number
Killinger. Dr. Henry Killinger. And this is my magic murder bag.
Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome to Venture Bros, Venture Brothers Podcast. Me, your host, is always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Grahamatron Mason.
Hello.
I was gonna say a fan of Tron Mason, and then I didn't.
Yeah. You could say that.
I could have, because I know you are
Yeah.
fan of Tron Mason, but
Tron Mason is pretty awesome.
yeah, it's way better than your actual middle name. You should just change it, Graham Tron Mason.
Sure.
Just change it. It's not that difficult. I've sat through the whole process with my wife. It's just mostly patience, just waiting for a court date. As long as you can do that, you're fine.
Yeah.
And it's a little expensive, but whatever. And we also have, I'm just killing time because I can't think of a nickname for Nick the Lost Friedemann.
What are the... Yeah, I won the lottery and everything. And then I went to an island, and the island just keep repeating those numbers at me. So
There you go.
Did you use the numbers?
No, I didn't.
Good.
All right, let's get started today. We're getting close to the end of season 2, which is sad, but also great because it means the rest of the episodes we're talking throughout the rest of this season are fantastic.
Yes.
This one, whenever we've been saying like, what is your favorite episode of the season or anything like that, this is the one that's always kind of like creeping in the wings of like, that one might be number one. When we're done with all of them, I do look forward to actually counting them all down. But today's episode of I Know Why the Cage Bird Kills is just, it's good stuff.
It is.
I was going to say it's one of my favorites, but then I just think of poor John writing our SEO going, I'm tired of hearing that they're your favorites.
They can't all be your favorites.
And it's like, well, watch the show, John. You'd understand. So this episode, I can do a very, at least attempt to do a very quick breakdown before we do a hot take around the table. So this one, I watched this thing twice yesterday because I'm like, there's so much in it, and I want to not fuck it up, but I'm pretty sure I'm still going to fuck it up. So this takes place right after the Monarch tries to do another really big takedown of the Venture Brothers, fucks up and goes to the wrong place. He does a really good job, though, like a really good job.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, just right motions, wrong place. So after that, Dr. Henry Killinger shows up, and he is going to help right the ship and start getting things back to how he should be as a proper villain. And while all that's going on, Dr. Venture has a weird ghost head following him around that's really mad at him, and they don't know why, so he and Dr. Orpheus are going to go try to figure that out. While that's going on, you have 23 and 21 and 24 are trying to basically say Killinger's a bad guy, and then 24 eventually is like, no, actually, you know what? He can cure herpes. He's pretty cool in my book. And who am I missing? Then there's the Brok storyline with the boys.
Yep.
Yeah, Myra.
And what are they doing? I totally forgot. I knew I was going to fuck this up.
They're captured by Myra.
That's right. Then the whole Myra thing. Jesus. There's so much in this episode. And Myra, the girls? My God. The boys, not mother. That storyline is really kind of it does serve to tie Dr. Venture and everybody together in the same place, but that one kind of has the least amount of things in it. It's basically like, here's a person who could be their mom, and then not, and then they move on. And then at the end, you find out that Killinger was also in charge of the weird ghost head thing. They're trying to bring Myra and Dr. Venture back together in love, but didn't work because Myra's nuts.
Yeah.
Is that everything? Did I get pretty much everything?
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's everything.
Okay, so
Yeah.
hot takes around the table. I've already made my opinion clear. I love this episode. But you guys?
Yeah, I really like this episode as well. I love the additions of Henry Killinger. I love the Monarch's cold open ridiculousness. It's so amazing. You're like, wow, this is crazy. He's actually doing it. This looks so good. And then he, is not doing such a great job. Yeah, I really like this episode. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's definitely really good.
Yeah, this season's going to be tough to rank when we're done.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great season. I feel like this might be my second favorite episode of this season.
Yeah.
There's so many gags in here that I love. I also think it's an interesting comparison to some of the messier episodes of this season, the one that we did last week. As like a great counterpoint to this one is that there's a lot going on in that episode last week that doesn't feel like it ever comes together. And while there is a lot going on in this episode, it does all come together at the end. Like, Dr.
Yes.
Henry Killinger is the through line throughout the whole episode. It's tied up in a bow at the end, and then it moves on. And I think that helps in combining all of these disparate pieces that they kind of want to combine.
Yeah, there's something that this episode nails that, like, as much as I love this show, and obviously we do, I don't think they're always 100% at this, and that's where all the different side stories, they don't always match in tone, and I think that's where we kind of get like that grab bag thing that we talked about last week. For sure. And this week, although it has that same thing, they're all in the same tone. Like, they're all the same, like, genre, if you will, of, like, humor and whatnot. And because of that, I think it all just clicks, whereas the other ones didn't ever quite to that point.
Exactly.
So, like, no matter how weird the boys' side story where they're getting tied up by Myra and you hear the whole disgusting part of Sergeant Hatred before he became a lovable big oaf, like, you have all these really kind of horrifying things, but they all kind of match with what everyone's doing. So it's still fun, and it's still funny, and you're still engaged the whole way through. And it's never like, I'm going to take a backseat for this next 2-minute bit because I don't really care about this part. Not that I really had that in other ones, but there's things that got closer to that in other episodes that this one ever did.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think there's a bunch of references in this one, too, that get dropped, picked up, and they're consistent throughout the whole thing. Like referencing Maya Angelou a bunch of times, right? Even with the title of this piece. And then who's the horse reference and the Catherine?
Oh, yeah, Catherine the Great.
Yep. Catherine the Great, and like all that, they, dropped that and picked that up the whole time. And
and Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's a consistency throughout the whole thing. There's tons of these references, and it does kind of feel like a grab bag, or like they're throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall, but they keep going back to it and referencing and be like, remember when we just said this and somebody else said this from a different story, and A plot and B plot and back and forth and this and that. And this is, again, one of those episodes where you really see the artistry of the show, as opposed to like the one last week where it was like, okay, you just threw a bunch of shit at the wall and some of it stuck, and you forgot about a bunch of other parts of it. And you just kind of left it there.
Well, and I think, like, one of the things, too, is we're talking about... I mean, this is still the second season, so I think they're still experimenting a bit with what characters go together. And my favorite pairing in this episode, and they never really bring this back, I think because it's kind of creates some problems, but Brok and Helper.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of creates a problem in the sense of, like, Helper has opinions, which Helper has never really been established to have before, like just opinions in general. And
I think they've kind of established that.
Yeah, yeah. He is an artificial intelligence, and he responds to them and stuff. And like they even once referenced, I don't know if we've seen it yet, but when Brok steps towards him, and Helper thinks that it's the robot versus the humans, and so he gets all scared. And
he often speaks of the oncoming war between man and machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
I guess.
And then he also has like that storyline where he just loves Rusty. Like they even show like how he wants to take care of Rusty. And then, I don't want to get too spoilery, but season 7 they really show how much opinions robots can have. Like
Right.
Yeah.
Especially
Okay, that's fair.
Like the Rhys Darby character from season 7. Like you can't get much more like, oh yeah, these robots can have opinions.
Yeah. I agree
Right.
that we haven't seen much of it, or certainly as much of it, until this episode.
Yeah.
And especially his entire dialogue, or, whatever, beep-a-log of the Maya Angelou piece is hilarious. Because it goes on for so long.
Oh, that was
And then
beautiful.
afterwards, Brok responds.
I love it.
Was that Shel Silverstein? Oh, Maya Angelou. Wow. It warms my heart every time.
It's amazing. I love their conversation about Led Zeppelin. I think it's like one of the funniest things. I was talking to Savant about how I love like one-sided conversations, and it's perfect. It's the best.
Yeah. I mean, because you only get it from like, R2D2 and stuff like that, where you're like, how do people even understand, the like in a tape, like there's just the beeping and all of this other stuff, and they don't reference it at all, and especially in this show, they don't reference it at all.
They do reference it once later on with Dermot. They go like, Helper says something, and they go, and Dermot goes, "Why would you say that?" They go, "Wait, when did you start understanding Helper?" He's like, "I have no idea."
Huh.
Yeah.
But the one thing that in that one-sided conversation, that before we move past it too quick, I do want to mention that just kills me. Like this is the beginning of that thing where Helper makes fun of his music. Like they make fun of like just the jock rock my ass, like because that just tells you that Helper just called Led Zeppelin jock rock, and that's like I love that robot. Like that's just that's so good.
Oh, it's great. And it also, like, this is what I mean about him having opinions, is that they're starting to treat him as like I guess is more of like a human being in the show.
Yeah.
Like
an actual character as opposed to a prop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think earlier he was kind of like a lot of sight gags that I love, but I think it's interesting to have this shift. And I don't know if they ever really, they kind of go back, yes, with other robots, but also bits and pieces with Helper. But I think that they kind of like just bring Helper in and out when they need Helper. So it's interesting, but I just thought that it was an interesting dynamic that I was like, oh, they never really go back to this between him and Brok, or really with him and anybody else. But yeah,
I would say this is probably the most they show it, because he does come back every now and then, but this is really the most they really get into it.
For sure.
Because they do even like beginning of season 4, they do a little bit more with Brok and Helper, but I want to save that for when we get there, because that's one of my favorite bits ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other thing with the pairing in this one that we got to talk about is this is the first time they really pair up 21 and Dr. Girlfriend.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is when she's still
I think he even
not Dr.
He even references that. He's like, this is the first time I've done this, and this is great.
Yeah, and it's like you can almost kind of hear Doc Hammer and Jackson Public like, oh wait, these two do make a really good pairing.
Yeah.
Because like it takes a while to finally get them to the point where like they become friends, but they do actually become friends after a while.
For sure.
And he thinks a little more at some point, but yeah.
Well, they do get a little more at some point.
Yeah.
Their passion overcomes at some point. Just very briefly, and it's hysterical.
Yes.
But
and heartbreaking.
That's a little bit later past that. It's funny when it happens.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting. I also feel like, maybe feel free to disagree with me, but I think this episode is where they really start to figure out what to do with 21 long term.
Yeah,
like he also becomes more than just kind of like a sight gag bit character.
Well, this is the first time really where they separate him from 24, and I think after doing that, they went, "Oh shit, this guy. We have a lot of mileage with this guy."
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they do.
I totally agree.
Because like you look at him now versus say, like season 2 versus season 7, and they're almost completely different people. But that arc, like they do such a good job with it. Starting, I'd say, in this episode, like you can totally see how this leads to that, and it works really well. And I think it does help. I would credit it mostly with pairing up with Dr. Girlfriend, that he realizes that he is capable, not just lucky.
Yes.
Like, he can be capable, because he still goes back to just being lucky for a long time after this. But I think just that one little slight, like, oh, I can do this, is
right,
really starting to take off. And this is the first time we really get to see Dr. Girlfriend in action, like in just kicking ass.
for sure.
She's so good.
She's so good. And if you pick up the Go Team Venture book, which if you listen to this show, you're a fan, you should pick it up. It's a great book. But like they even go through like panel to panel, like drawing, like how are we gonna make her fight? And it's really kind of cool and interesting. Like we want to make her just look dangerous, and it's like, yeah, it worked.
Yep.
Yeah, and the ease of fighting, and I love the laser bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, 21. I just was giving him all those compliments about being capable.
Capable in his own right.
This is his
with
first
his own.
time at being capable, so...
Yeah. I mean, I agree. This is the first kind of start for his arc, at least in the way that he goes. And I love it. I love 21's arc so much.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that the episode where he's like, I want to be the Jetpack Twins, or whatever the hell they ended up calling themselves, that could have been the beginning of it, but that one just always felt more like a side note to me than an actual storyline, whereas this one actually feels like they're planting the seeds with this one, and it works.
Yeah, well, because that one he's still tied to 24.
Yeah.
And it's
Exactly.
like he's still trying to do the team thing and the group thing, and like, hey, let us, do this thing. This is the first time where he is reaching out solo, and yes, he's reaching out to Dr. Girlfriend. And yes, he's reaching out to somebody else to help him along with this goal, but that's because he needs it, and that's whatever.
Well,
but this is his own decided fate that he thinks that he needs to, revenge or, whatever, take out Henry Killinger.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, though, is I feel like where we end with him is the right place, where he figures out that he is, like, the world's best number 2.
Yeah.
Like, he is the greatest right-hand man. And I think when pairing up with 24, he's pairing up with a lesser and or equal, whereas when he starts pairing up with Dr. Girlfriend, it's like, oh, this is what it's like to be somebody's professional assistant. And I don't mean that in, like, a negative way, because he is the best at it. And this was the beginning of, like, oh, I should start doing this instead of just slacking off, which he will do for the majority of the rest of the season and next, but this is the beginning of, oh, I could be somebody's best partner.
Exactly.
Let's talk a little bit of Dr. Venture. He hasn't gotten the spotlight at all. I want to save Killinger for last, but we have not mentioned that floating head.
The Oni?
The Oni. And Dr. Orpheus, which is just...
They smell my cat.
Oh, who's a pretty little cat? A pretty little, calm little... Oh, okay. Just go. Just leave. Just get out of here.
That got a good laugh out of Siobhan.
Chewie, too.
Oh, wow, good.
The one that got
great.
the bigger laugh out of Chewie was the, they smell my cat.
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
You talk about teaming up and, pairings, and here's another one we don't get... enough of is
Agreed.
Dr. Venture and Dr. Orpheus, because they're just ridiculous together.
I feel like they could have been their own show. Like, in another world, the two of them of just science versus faith. Like it's
Yes.
like, I'm rewatching all of Lost right now, so you're going to hear a lot of those references, but it's like the perfect, like, Jack and Locke, like, which one? And it's like, these two together are so good because, and it's just because they're so different, and, like, that's just perfect. And I know that's just like screenwriting 101, but still it works so well here. It's like no matter how much Dr. O thinks that they're friends and going to be pals, he just will not see that Rusty just barely tolerates him. Like, at best, tolerates him.
Yeah. Oh, I love the turn where Dr. Venture accuses him of trying to get him in bed. And just Dr. O's reaction to it is the best, where he's like, excuse me? Like, it's like so proper to such like an absurd accusatory, I don't even know, accusation. That's the thing I'm thinking of.
Oh, look at me in my huge gay cloak.
Yeah. Like, we've said it before and we will say it again. Rusty is the worst.
Oh, he's the worst. He is like peak the worst. I think the next few episodes he tops himself like every episode, but like his treatment of Myra, which is very barely in this episode, but like goes further back. Also, just like his treatment of Dr. Orpheus and everybody else who's just trying to help him, it's like, oh my god, every single time.
Yeah, when we finally get the full Myra story, it's like, God, Rusty sucks.
Oh, yeah.
But you can kind of get it from this one. You might not get, like, they don't spell it out for you, but you can be like, oh, Rusty ruined her. I'm not sure why she's this crazy, but I'm sure it's his fault.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, especially the last line of the show. It's like, all right, I fucked her.
Oh, it's the best.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, this whole side story, you know, I don't know if this is A, B, or C, D, or G through H, but this story of Dr. O and Dr. B going through and, you know, having this little side journey is just, it's wonderful. And it's incredible that you're like, while you're watching it, you're like, oh, this is entirely separate and not related to the others at all. And then finally it's wrapped up in the end of like, oh no, Henry Killinger sent the Oni after him to try to either, I think, to get Myra and Dr. V back together. But that obviously would never happen.
No.
Again, it's like another one of those artistry things, like how they tied this whole thing together was just wonderful. Yeah,
and it's like the storyline itself, they don't overstay their welcome with it. Like, there's not a lot to it. It's somehow in Japan he picked up this spirit, or Killinger sent him the spirit, and it's just like, all right, so there's some fun sight gags we can get out of this, and we can, you know, put the Dr. O and Rusty in a confined space together, and then just watch
the Tempest songs.
Yeah, just watch like the fireworks happen, and it's like, yeah, that works, and that's all they really do with it, and they use it to make some good jokes out of the two of them. To make a really, I can't think of two people I'd rather watch porn less with than the two of them. And
oh my god!
Do you want to go halvesies?
I was gonna bring that up. Do you want to go halvesies on a skin flick? And I love Dr. O's response. Where he's like, "Okay," like he's just like he just wants to spend more time with Rusty, and this is the way Rusty wants to spend time. It's so disgusting.
Like it's just one of those like I guess so.
I also want to bring up, though, that the Oni serves a really important purpose, which is separating Dr. Venture from Brok, because Brok can't see it. Yeah. And so when Brok can't see it, when he sees the two of them following it, he's like, oh, he's got you doing it too. Like,
oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that's the point, which actually makes a lot of sense, because you need to have Brok be separate, because Brok is the real introduction to Myra.
Yeah.
Which is the best introduction, I think, to any character in the show, which is the watches say, the boys are mine, and then he wipes more junk away, and there's a bomb, and he's like, oh crap, Myra's back, and then the whole thing blows up. Great intro. Yep. I don't know anything about her, but now I don't really need to know anything more. She's a lunatic, and she's pretty good at her job.
I'm trying to think, like, throughout the entire season, does anybody else have a better intro? And I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, from that moment when he says, oh crap, Myra's back, you remember Myra's name. And now it's just imprinted in your brain. You're like, oh shit, this chick is serious.
Exactly.
I mean, to go back to the Oni thing, I mean, the whole, really when you think about it, I guess this whole situation is designed by Henry Killinger.
Yep.
On how crazy, weird, intelligent, omniscient, like, he is. And when he comes back and just, like, everything, and, you know, how, it's just, he boggles my mind. And I love him and hate him all over for his ability to contrive these situations to create, you know, people and putting them in these situations and having them have their own things. But I guess now that I'm thinking about it, he pretty much always fails. Yeah. Because of the people that he helps, not because of his situation failing.
Yeah, he really, when he steps up to bat, he's going for a home run every time. And it's like, that doesn't always work.
Dr. Henry Killinger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think I don't think he fails in one aspect this episode, he succeeds in another.
Yeah, I don't think he's a total failure. I think
that's
it's
true. I forgot about the Monarch and the Dr.
big.
Girlfriend.
Yeah, like he goes, because if you go for the ultimate goal of he wants the Monarch to be the best supervillain of all time, no, he doesn't do that. but he
Right.
does get the Monarch and Dr. Girlfriend back together.
Yeah.
And he does almost, at least in his mind, he gets the Rusty and Myra as close to back together as they were ever going to get, which is within, a few yards of each other.
Exactly.
So it's not a total failure. Like, he did better with the Monarch than he does with Rusty in season 3.
Yeah. Even though I still think that he kind of succeeds with Rusty, although dubiously, but Dr. Henry Killinger is a villain after all, so...
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
it's interesting, like, when you just look into Killinger as a character in this episode, like, it's one of those ones where when you look into the history of it, they didn't think he was going to come back. Like, this was supposed to be a one-off, like, people enjoy him, and then they created him, they designed him, they started voicing him. It's like, how do we not bring this guy back?
He's the best.
Yeah,
He is really incredible.
like, he is many a fan's favorite side character, if not favorite character in the whole show. And,
Yeah,
and
he might be my favorite character in the whole
he's
show.
so
Oh, wow.
good. Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
and you're not alone with that. Like, so many people love him just for like the "you silly Billy." Like,
Yeah. Oh, I'm obsessed. We'll get to this later, but he comes back, and the episode that he comes back has some of my favorite Dr. Henry Killinger lines that they just make me so
but
happy.
even this one has some great ones. Like, this one has the when 21 calls, like, says, like, this guy comes in with his big birthing hips. That is not fair. I do not choose my figure.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, I forgot my magic mode.
yeah. And I love that he says it just while staring 21 down. Like,
Oh, it's the best.
he is the nicest, most gentle person who's also totally horrifying.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, it's, yeah,
It's like he means well, and he's, powerful and smart and intelligent, and whatever he decides he's going to go after, and you just kind of got to go with him. And you don't know if it's going to be a good ending, a bad ending, if you're going to end up with your herpes cured, or if you're going to be the villain of somebody.
But it feels like
Yeah,
I think 24 has it right with him, where what you have to do to understand where you stand with him is you have to talk to him. Just talk to him.
Yeah.
exactly.
And he's the type of guy where, like, he's like the world's greatest boss. He will make time for you. You might not like what happens at the end of it, but he'll make time for you. He has an open door policy.
Exactly. He is probably like the guild's best. Well, he doesn't actually work for the guild, but
No.
like he's, an evil villain's probably best project manager.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. He's the fixer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you're willing to
Oh,
do,
he's great.
That's, like, I think for both the Monarch and Dr. Venture, if they were willing to do everything he said when it came to being a villain, they would have been the best villains possible.
Oh, of course.
Like, he is right. Like, every time he is right. Like, when, especially like with Rusty. Like, I don't want to get into it too much, but like Rusty with like who he chooses as his super, like his arch. It's like, yeah, no, that's perfect. You are right on the money.
Yeah. Totally makes sense.
Yeah, I'll go into this when we talk about Henry Killinger later. But one of the things that I find really interesting is that I think you could make the point that he's trying to turn the Monarch into a good guy.
I'm not
Because
here's the thing.
everything he's bringing up is like the summit, everything else, like all of it to me feels like he's trying to swap what the Monarch thinks he should be doing.
well,
Interesting.
I think that comes down into a larger part of good guy, bad guy, or protagonist, antagonist. Because this show,
Sure.
as it moves on, really gets into like, no, they're not bad people. They're antagonists. He's not a good guy. He's a
Right.
protagonist. So it could be that he is trying to make him a better person, and by being a better person, he'd be a better antagonist.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he'd want him to stop arching or stop being a villain. I just think he wants him to be a better person in his own personal life. So he'd be a better husband to Dr. Girlfriend, and he wouldn't trap hookers in a red dragon torture den. Like, he wouldn't do these horrible
Right.
things to humanity. He'd just be a good guy who is an antagonist.
Which is interesting, because then when we get into, when Henry Killinger comes back and deals with, Dr. Venture and attempts to shift him up, it would really kind of set still the Monarch versus Venture up, but kind of flip their roles.
Yeah.
Which I think would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's something interesting there. I'm not sure how much. Well, I'm assuming you're talking about the season 3
we'll
episode.
have to. Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the point. Is I think the duality of how he approaches both of these characters is very interesting.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. We'll have to bring up this episode again when we get to that one.
Yes.
But it is definitely interesting, and it's such a good character, and I wonder if because he's done so well in that season 3 episode, if it just proves more so that, like, all right, we came up with a fun idea for this episode that people will enjoy, and he's still the best part of this episode, don't get me wrong. But, like, all right, so if we're going to keep him around, how do we flesh him out to be the best character that he can be? And I think that shows up a lot more the next time he shows up.
Exactly. Yeah, I think he's more of kind of like, he's a mediator as Kissinger was in real life, but I think he's also got, I mean, like, can I tell my favorite Henry Kissinger story?
Sure.
Which is, I'm sure Brian already knows
Yes, I
about
do,
it.
but sure.
Basically, long story short is Jackson Public gave the story to Doc Hammer and was like, oh, I've got this idea for a character, Dr. Henry Kissinger, and if you can, just work in that he has a magic murder bag. And then when Doc Hammer brought the story to Jackson Public's reading, and he goes, oh, you worked in the magic murder bag. And then that's it. It's like, I love that. It's like the magic murder bag is just a tag for everything that he does, and Jackson Public was so happy that he worked it in. Like, yeah, this is perfect.
That explains that line of, I forgot my magic murder bag, so much.
Exactly. Oh, it's so good.
That's amazing. But it totally fits for his character.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't actually see the magic murder bag do anything, really, until much later. And it's definitely a magical murder bag.
Oh my god.
He pulls flowers out of it, I
That's
think,
true.
in this
Yeah,
episode. That's about it.
Well, it's definitely his, like, Mary Poppins bag.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bag is its
I think actually, yeah, I think the other thing he pulls out of it is an umbrella, which
Yeah.
later gets caught on something
yeah.
and he needs help with.
I require assistance.
I love him so much.
You just want to give him a hug. Like, he looks
I want to be friends with him.
he looks like
Yes.
he'd be a really good hugger.
Yeah.
I think we see that later on, actually.
Well, I know he's really good with the boys, but I'm not sure if it's because of hugging or not.
There's got to be some hugging.
There's got to be hugging. What haven't we hit? Is there anything we have not talked about in this one that we want to make sure?
I mean, we glossed over a bit of the Myra, is she the mom or is she not? But I think that the show itself kind of does that as well. And to be honest, like we did with Henry Kissinger, though we jumped ahead a bit, it's really almost impossible to talk about Myra without jumping ahead. And I think that I would rather save her storyline for later.
Yeah, like, because the Myra, she's more of a one-off villain in this thing and not the full character that she'll be later.
Exactly.
And the whole is she the mom thing, I think even, like, the fans back when this episode came out were like, no. Like, we all just kind of agreed, no. So it's like, it's fine. Like, everything with her is better later. She's interesting in this one and she's funny in this one,
100%.
but everything is better. I will say that much. Like, for this, like, one-off super crazy character, she still makes me laugh. When she tries to breastfeed them, it still makes me laugh. Every time.
Yeah.
Because it's just so creepy.
So gross.
She's remarkably creepy.
Yeah. Like, she kind of reminds me of one of the assassins that goes after Brok in, like, a later season. Like, just, like, this kind of, like, everything you do is making me uncomfortable. And, like, that's Myra.
Exactly.
But again, before, I don't want to go too far into it, because I do think she is better later.
Agreed.
So, I don't think there's anything else. I think we've kind of hit everything that we can, right?
Yeah. Oh, I do want to bring up, this is my favorite Brock Sampson gag of all time.
Oh.
The car. I just want to bring
Oh
it up.
my
It's
God.
impossible to describe. But-
Even when that was happening with Chewie, I'm like, you have to, because Chewie did not remember this episode at all, because she watched it back when it aired, and then she rewatched it while 9 months pregnant. So she just kind of skims over this one every time. I'm like, if you don't remember this part, you need to watch this part. It's just the most badass Brock moment in the whole show.
Exactly.
Like, if you don't know what we're talking about, it's where he goes limp and lets himself get hit by a car, so he ends up in the driver's seat. And that's really the only way I can describe it.
Yeah. He looks like he's standing in the middle of the road and doing, like, Tai Chi or something. And you're like, what is he... You're like, this is so odd for Brock to do anything like this. And then you're like, puts his left arm up and crocked and then puts his right arm straight in front of him in a driving position, which it doesn't look like it is until he lands right on Myra. And his arm is hanging out the window and he's got his hand on the steering wheel.
No, he's got one arm on the window
So
and he's got the other arm stopping Rusty. Like he's doing like the mom safety belt.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Like I like that.
It's
like his instinct to take care of Rusty is just so good.
It is.
He's incredible.
I also love that nobody's impressed. Like that's one of my favorite parts about it. Is they're just like, oh, it's just Brok being Brok.
Oh yeah,
like that is the most impressive thing. It doesn't make any sense. Like physically, it makes no sense. Like how did he get his legs down? Like it makes no sense. But it's perfect. It's perfect for animation and it's perfect for this show because Brok makes no sense. So that's it.
Okay, let's move into pop culture references. Let's see. I wrote mine down. Where the hell did it go? Oh my god. One thing while I'm looking this up, I just found my note that I had to bring up. When 21 tries to yell Latin at
I was gonna say
Dr. Henry Killinger on his way out. He was like, and he corrects him and goes, what you just said was always faithful, terrible lizard. Really?
Did I? Oh my
Cool.
god, that's so cool.
It's amazing.
So my pop culture reference, it was before this. It comes from Maya, of course, where she tells the boys that she is her mother, and then she says, "Search your feelings, boys. You know it to be true." It's like, I love a good Darth Vader reference.
I was gonna go with another 21 and Dr. Henry Killinger moment when 21 gets it in his head that he needs to, grab the magic murder bag and, do whatever with it. We don't really know. But he runs into the room with his spiderweb silly string things on his wrists. Eat web! That's sprays. It's like, oh yeah, I used to have those. Those were awesome.
My mom would never buy them for me because she said I'd make a mess of the house, which I would have. So
Certainly.
I guess that's fair. But I still feel like I was horribly deprived of a childhood. So, whatever.
Yeah,
Nick, what about you?
This one was a hard one for me. I feel like because I didn't really catch many other than the ones that we've already talked about, which was Led Zeppelin,
Maya Angelou.
Yeah. I feel like the one for me that I really love in general. Oh, there's an Invasion of the Body Snatchers bit with.
Oh yes.
People. So I was like, all right, that fits into the After the Hype episode that I just did recently. So I feel like that one would be mine. That's the one that I remember.
I was going to take that one, and then I figured you would want it, seeing that I don't want to spoil an After the Hype episode, but I'm going to, since you picked that movie for me to watch.
Exactly.
And I love how he throws it over his shoulder. Like, get away from me! Get away from me, you bad person!
Oh, it's the best.
Oh, that's good shit. That brings today's episode to a close, though. And we are rounding out the season. We have one more episode left before the 2-part finale, which we are going to do as 2 episodes. I've been back and forth a lot on whether or not we should do it as 1 or 2. And I just feel like we should just stick with the half-hour thing. It's been working so far. Why change it now?
True.
The next episode, though, is Viva Los Muertos, which is not just Frankenstein. I promise. It is such a good episode. I'm excited to talk about that one. Plugs. Listen After the Hype. athpod.com. We have tons of stuff going on right now. We have 3 podcasts a week. We're trying to move that up to 4 in January. We have 1 to 2, sometimes 3 articles a week. We have Samwise, which is now in its own feed, so you can look it up there, which is just fantastic. And it's a great, as I like to call them, one-way podcast. So you listen to it on your way to something, and you don't have to pause it and remember where you were like you do with After the Hype or others of long shows. One trip, you got 15 to 20 minutes, you get a whole episode in, and they're very good, well done stuff. You should definitely check out Samwise, and of course, After the Hype, which is awesome, as always. Nick, Graham, anything to plug?
Nope.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Have you played it yet? In the full release version?
I have not.
Okay. I'm excited.
Well, mostly because I have a copy but it's back in Quebec, I guess. So I don't know how I'm getting it down here. So I'm like, and I only have a PC, so I'm like, I'll figure it out later.
Yeah. I am excited to play it at some point, as I'm excited to play Red Dead Redemption 2 at some point, and all these other games at some point, sooner or later.
Perfect.
And with that,